This is day 4 of my Norton Disney Winter VIP campaign. Today you're joining me on Hodgetts Lake. We've got 24 hours, the wind's very high, the pressure's low. Let's see if we can make it happen.
With the mild temperatures and a fresh southwesterly wind, I knew the conditions were prime for a few bites. With only 24 hours at my disposal, I chose Hodgetts Lake as it holds the most fish per acre, giving me the best chance of a bend in the rod during my short session. After a quick walk round, I decided to stop in peg 8. This meant I had my back to the wind, so it made my session a lot more comfortable, and it was also a swim that commanded a lot of the water. It also means I can actually cast into the middle of the lake, and this is where I'm suspecting a lot of the carp will be this time of year. Without any hesitation, I had a quick let about, found a gravel spot and started introducing a bit of bait. Now with every session I end up with some sort of drama, and this time it was my braid. With wind knot after wind knot, I had to retie my spod rod about 4 times, and then this happened. But after a little sulk, I pushed through and put all 30 spoms out onto my spot. The mix I'd be using this time was a mixture of hemp, flaked maize and sweet corn, all soaking in the sweet corn smart liquid. Small food particles to keep them grubbing around in the area, sweet corn for the visual factor, and the smart liquid to create a column in the water to attract the carp down to my bait and rigs. All of these food items are also very digestible by the carp, so I'm not really risking overfeeding them with the amounts I'm putting out. An hour must have passed and we was hooped into our first carp. It didn't fight for very long, however it did kite left and right, tangling underneath my other rod. Luckily, I had another angler in my swim who was able to help me get the fish underneath the other rod, which then led to him landing my first carp just 3 hours into the session. Buzzing. Quick top up of 3 more spoms followed by getting the rod back out on the spot, and we was in once again, this time on the left hand rod. This instantly felt like a much better fish. Hugging the bottom with only very subtle head nudges, holding me, I knew we could be playing this for a while. After a good few minutes, it was in the net, and it did seem a much better fish indeed. With the feeding windows much shorter this time of year, it was important I got the rod straight back on the spot with another top up of bait. With 2 bites in quick succession, I knew we were still within a chance of a couple more bites.
And this is why you've got to make the most of bite time. If you're on them, make sure you get your rods back out straight away. Especially this time of year, the feeding windows can be very short. This is how easy it is to turn 1 fish into 3 sometimes.
And they say all good things come in threes. I had just got the time to get my waterproofs on and get the rod back out before we had another carp on the end of the rod. I was not expecting this sort of action during a winter campaign. I mean, I'd be happy with this any time of year, never mind December. With all 3 fish landed, I had to reel in all rods and sort these fish out, as the rules state you cannot retain the fish for any longer than 15 minutes, and I was already pushing the limit on this.
Well, what an eventful few hours this afternoon was. You know, from arriving this morning, it was full steam ahead. You know, get the shelter, find a spot, get some bait out, get the rigs out. It was all quite full on, but it paid off. So 3 fish within a short period of time. Really happy. Especially to have that 29 pounder, you know, from a lake that's not got that many 30s and that many big ones in. It was, you know, really welcome. It seems as though the bite time has stopped now. Between 1 and 3 really is the bite time on here. You know, all the bites that have come over from Turners and on here now have all been within that time period. got less than 12 hours to go. You know, we're due to leave at around 8 AM, so as soon as the gates open we're going to be out of here. I'm really hopeful for the night ahead, but even if we don't get anything, you know, it's been a brilliant session. I'm really happy with it. Just goes to show that this time of year, you know, the feeding spells are short, so to maximize that, you know, as soon as you've caught one, get some bait back over it, get your rig back over it, and you can quickly turn one bite into multiple, just as I've done here today. 3 bites, 3 fish landed, and they've all come on this combi multi-rig, same rig that I was using on Turner's Lake. You know, I'm really building the trust and confidence in this rig now. I think I've had 6 fish on it, 6 landed, not a single hook pull. My confidence has grown and grown with every single bite that I have, and all of the bites today have come with fake corn, fake maize, slow sinking maize. That's because I've got maize in my mix, so a bit of a match to hatch approach seem to be doing the business. I've only just recently learned how to tie this, but yeah, it's been great, and I'm definitely going to use it in my angling, you know, in the next season. Just going to get a bite to eat. I've not had anything to eat all day, so I've been pretty busy, so I'm going to get some food. We're going to put a few more spoms out before the night ahead. It's starting to go dark, so we're going to reset all rods, put a few more spoms out just before it gets dark, and see what the night brings. But with the action we've had today, I'm really hopeful. If you are on limited time, you know, ask the bailiff's advice. The only reason I came onto this lake is because, well, A, the number of fish. There's over 1,000 carp in here, and for the size, you know, you're never going to be too far away from them. And there was actually quite a few pegs available, but this peg 8 here commands most of the water. And speaking with the bailiff, he said, you know, just find a bit of a hard spot, get some bait over it, and just sit on your hands. And that's exactly what we did. You know, we're fishing towards sort of a gap in the trees at 20 wraps out. Now the spot is actually wrapped up to 20 wraps, but the rods are wrapped up to 21, and the reason for that is obviously because it's 20 foot out there, so I want to make sure that my rig is landing somewhat near the bait. That's it. That concludes our second session here at Norton Disney, part of the Winter VIP. You know, I've had 3 fish out in a really short space of time. All the bites coming between sort of that 1 to 3 o'clock period. So yeah, so far so good. Great way to finish on that 29 pound. Couldn't be happier. I mean, for a really short session like that, I literally could not have asked for anything else. Catch you at the next one.